Us, it's still the conversation here on Lagos Television, and on the segment, you know what we do? We talk about everything and anything that has to do with Lagos and Lagos State governments. This morning, we're talking about Lagos Rail expansion, new licenses, new possibilities. Last month, something happened that's never happened before in Nigeria. A state government was handed a permanent license to run its own rail line. The Nigerian Railway Corporation officially granted Lagos State a permanent operating license and track access license for the Red Line, making Lagos the first sub-national government in the country licensed to run a full rail service, passenger and cargo. Joining us this morning to speak more and on other things is Engineer Olasukomi Okusaga. He is a technical advisor, Public Transport Rail Lamata. That's the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority. You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'd like you to, walk us through, tell us, what this handing over, or should I call it a handing over? What exactly did Lamata receive from the NRC?
Thank you. What we receive is what they call a permanent railway operation license, because as we all know, railway operation in Nigeria is about 3, 4, 5 years ago domiciled with the Nigerian Railway Corporation. And then during the transition to the new government from the Buhari to Tinubu regime, that is what they call moving the railway from the exclusive list to concurrent list. Okay. So basically, that has given Lagos State some power in terms of operation. But in terms of that, there's still what they need to do in terms of operational license, because the regulatory part of it still relies with Nigerian Railway Corporation. So basically, they have the oversight function in terms of operating railway in Nigeria. So granting us that license, give us a power, a mandate to operate railway in Lagos.
Does that mean, laying your own tracks?
Everything about railway in Lagos,
Everything.
we can now do, yes.
Oh, okay.
So we
So
have
you
that
don't
power
need
to operate. We can even franchise, we can even regulate. That's why we've given us power to do railway operation in Lagos.
Okay. Earlier in my intro, this was described as, decades in the making. What was the actual hold-up? Why was there a delay until now?
Okay, let me start from a bit of the history behind it. Modern railway is just something that is start coming in Nigeria. And then, Nigerian Railway Corporation, as I said, they have the power, the mandate to operate and then regulate railway. And then we started things in terms of operating the railway, the Blue Line. And we have what they call provisional license granted by the Nigerian Railway Corporation. So it's a thing that is a work in progress. There are lots of meticulous process that we have to follow before we can grant us that license. Okay. And then we got that, so they look at this rigorous one, and now we have the license to operate. That's why it takes a lot of time to certify.
When you say meticulous process,
yes,
you might not be able to tell us everything, but let's hear the process.
Expand more on that. Yeah, it's like in a nutshell, what they've done is they look at all our processes, they visit all the rail stations, they certify our personnel, and then look at in terms of TC9, which is granting us in terms of the drivers, the personnel that operate. They look at it. We have what they call a safety management system. This is called the Bible of the railway system.
Okay.
So they look at that. That's what we submitted, and then they come and verify. It's a rigorous process. It takes about 6 to 7 months. So.
Okay, so before this license, was the Red Line operating in a sort of gray area?
No, it wasn't, because they give us a provisional one.
Okay.
So that's what makes us to operate the Red Line. So now we push to have a permanent one, which will give us a power to operate any railway system, both modern metro, tram, AGT, anything in Lagos, yes.
Now, after the license, so a regular passenger, what would they start to notice?
Well, one, they have to have the confidence. They have to notice more train coming in, more frequency in terms of what we're doing. Initially, we have 9 trips. We are now proposed to have 28 trips in the rail.
28?
Yes, that's what we're proposing, and that's the discussion is ongoing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, talking about 9 trips, why did you start with just 9, and when do we start seeing these 28 trips in operation?
3 things that we need to look at in that. In terms of the Red Line, which is totally different from the Blue Line, we are sharing the Nigerian Railway Corporation track. So we are bound by what the slot they can give to us, because they operate their own Lagos-Ibadan railway corridor as well. So with that, we are limited in what we have. We have to look at the in terms of scheduling that they give us, in terms of the signaling system, and we have to look at our own capacity in terms of rolling stock that we have. So all those one in one, we don't look, okay, let's start in phases. It's exactly the same thing we've done on the Blue Line. The Blue Line started with 12 trips, 18, 22, 54, 72, now 90, now we now have 94. So that's the process. Now we've procured additional 24 carriages. That means 3 set of 8 carriages coming in probably end of Q3. So that will go into section. That will now enable us to have the increase in ridership. So Lagosian will see more trips, and then at least 28 trips, yeah.
Okay, some of the bottlenecks they used to have at the train station, such as ticketing, punctuality, and overcrowding. So which of these bottlenecks, challenges will this new licenses solve?
In terms of the licenses, it gives us, as I said, give us all power to do everything. Okay. In terms of the challenge that we have, in terms of maybe the fare collection system, as you all know, we operate the railway system with a carry card. So cashless policy, that's what we want. And then in terms of access to that, it gives us power to now look at how we, in terms of people walking on the corridor, jaywalking, it gives us power mandate to now look at how we go to fence out the whole corridor, clear those jaywalking, do advocacy to tell them now we're going to have more frequency. So it gives us a lot of power to do everything we want to do. Yes.
Okay, for the layman, not me, for the layman, what's the difference between the Blue Line and the Rail Line?
Okay, there's no major difference. They are all modern metro system.
Okay.
The only difference that I can see is just the Blue Line is electrified and the Red Line is not. And the reason behind that is that, we are sharing the track, and the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Lagos-Ibadan corridor, is on diesel.
Okay.
That's why we can't go and put an electrified track on a diesel track. That's the major difference.
Okay.
Yes, no major difference at all.
Okay, from a technical point of view, what has been the biggest challenge, in expanding rail infrastructure?
That's a very good question. The biggest challenge that we see is in expanding is because Lagos is a built-up area. So the expanding the railway corridor, you need to look at, first and foremost, is how you go to minimize disruption. Because if you look at the Red Line, we have to it crisscross the built-up area of Lagos, the most populated area of Lagos, Alimosho, Agege, all those sides. So the challenge is how we're going to minimize disruption. And then part of it is funding.
Okay.
Yes, because when we want to expand the Red Line, you'd have to look at, acquisition of land and all that. So then, you need to find a way, optimize your design to look at, okay, if you can, on the engineering elimination of all risk, and look at, okay, at this point, there's nothing we can do that to just take out all these properties. So the biggest challenge is acquisition, yes, of land and
I think my
property.
colleague has a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, because she was nodding. I thought you had a question. License, yeah.
Yeah.
Will they totally hands-off, or will they still conduct periodic audits, or safety compliance, or just leave Lagos to run things?
Run the show by itself, yeah.
From time to time, will there still be anything that NRC will oversee?
For now, according to the standard or the legislation we have, they're still going to have periodic oversight, yes. Yes, maybe once a year or once a year or twice a year, or it depends on the agreement we have with them. But they leave Lagos State to do what they want to do in terms of what we agreed in between our safety management system. That's the Bible that tells us how we want to operate the railway, how we're going to manage it, what we want to do.
Which they have seen.
Which they have seen and certified, but they still got to come and check us like an audit, maybe once a year or once in 2 years, yes. Pending, there is an open, a clear view in the terms of, okay, Lagos, they have the power to regulate themselves, yes.
Okay, beyond funding, what technical expertise are international partners bringing into this
Good
new
question.
intervention?
Good question. I think I'll just take back to myself. I came to Nigeria through a Work Back project to assist Lagos and Nigeria and Lagos.
Okay.
A modern railway, there's a blade of skill gap in Nigeria as we speak. Yes, there's no two ways about that. That's what leads us to now look at, okay, how do you try to bridge that gap?
I think that is what's taking us to the training school.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're done with this, we'll talk about the
So
training
with
school.
that now we have because modern railways and even in the Western world there's still we call it a gap in terms of certified railway experts because it's not something you go and learn in university just like that, you know. So you have to go through the system, certified and all that. So there's still gap in Nigeria. So that's the major problem in terms of modern railway in Lagos and Nigeria at large.
You know, before we started the show, I was talking to Mr. Jalabi. I said, Mr. Jalabi, we've not been seeing you, we've not been hearing from you. Meanwhile, Lamata is doing so much.
Oh, yeah?
You know, he said, oh, he's in hibernation. You shouldn't hibernate when you're doing so much. Now, let's talk about the training center.
Sorry, before you talk about the
Okay,
training school, I just wanted to chip in the attitude of the commuters.
Oh.
And yes, because we need to also talk about where they are and if they are also in tune with what Lagos State is doing. So what are some of the things that you've seen on the blue line, on the red line, with the attitude of commuters, how they treat their carry cards, how they also take care of other passengers on board, that you'd like for our viewers to see or to know this morning? Because again, sometimes people don't have respect for one another when they are on the on the rail. So what are some of the things that you've seen that you think that we need to take full cognizance of, especially since there are expansion motives ahead for Lamata?
That's a fantastic question. I think I'll take it as 1 and 2. The first thing for us, you know, as I said...
It's fine, you can just look into your
as
camera.
I said earlier on, we have the modern railway is a new thing in Nigeria. I can say category less than 5 years now because the blue line is 3 years in September. First thing for us is, I think, I won't say cultural shock to people because I remember when we started the blue line, it's like people are rushing for seats. But the modern railway is a metro system that the first, from the one station to the next station, the max you spend is 3 to 5 minutes. So there's nothing to sit on. You just stand there before you get to your seat. And the whole journey started with 28 minutes. Now it's 18 minutes. Now in the morning peak, now it's 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So you don't need a seat. So over time, you see people rushing, breaking the doors of the trains. But over time, they get used to it. And a lot of advocacy was been done by Lamata in terms of, number one, it's a electrified track. The MD, everybody, Mr. Jalabi, as you mentioned, have done a very good job in terms of doing advocacy, yes, and with the help of yourself and the media outlet, we tell people that, listen, this is an electrified track, it's a modern railway, you don't need seat and all that. Then to the second bit of the question is that the infrastructure is for us. We need to manage it and maintain it. Don't damage it.
We should own it.
We should own it. It's for your community. Some people are asking us, when is it coming to our own neighborhood? and railway is not cheap. So we need to know that it belongs to us. We need to manage it and own it and keep it so that we can enjoy it for long. And in terms of the carry card, you know, it's your personalized things. You need to maintain it as well. And because if you lost it, all the information there is your own data. Nobody else can use it. So my own advice or my own suggestion is that people own the infrastructure and let's manage it so we can get the better of it.
Okay, talking about expansion, before I go to the training center, talking about expansion, I hope Lagosians will not have to now expand their pockets. I hope this will not affect, the pockets, when you start to expand.
Okay, for now, not.
For costs, yeah.
For now, I would say no.
Okay.
Yeah, because what we're even looking at is because we have due to the carry card, we have a data center. We analyze things and that look at the pattern of travel, the mode of travel, people, gender, and all that. We have the travels. So on the data we are looking at, we're looking at now is that it's not official yet. We even look at how to reduce the fare so that we can get more people on board, let people get used to it. Okay. So for now, in terms of fare, I would say no. Okay. But I put the word for now.
For now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. I'm just, don't mind me. As it comes to my head, I'm just going to keep interjecting. Right, let's talk about emergencies on the trains. Sometimes, again, when we also know that technical failure could also happen. Correct. The train could stop. It could also be because of any reason. So what are the plans that Lamata has, especially when you're on the train? Do we have nurses? Do we have specialized personnel who are able to administer first aid. And so how do we also ensure that, you know, it is timely when anything happens on the train?
Another good question. Yeah, what we've done so far is that part of what we submitted as management system is the emergency plan, which is critical to us, and we have the mandate to review it every year. In terms of the, most of the you see on the blue line and red line have been trained to be first aider. Okay. So they can administer first aid, and all the trains we have first aid box. And then another thing we've done so far is we identify all clinic and hospital along the corridor. We wrote to them. Even as of tomorrow, we're having a meeting with them. That's on the red line. Okay. So that should we have any emergency, so we can even quickly reach out to you or transport the customer to you. So yes, we are looking at that. And in terms of the train itself, the train has some major safety equipment. In terms of the modern railway, he has a speed profile, he has all those things, and there's even a bell of emergency there on this train that if you break it and press it, you speak to the driver immediately, so he can stop at the next station or they can attend to you. And most of our trains, we have a security on the train, mufti. They are not in uniform, so they can assist you. Yes, so all those things have been taken into consideration. So we have a lot of things in terms of safety, emergency, a robust one, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, still talking about safety, you know, passengers, you know, see the stations, they see the trains, but, you know, they don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. So what makes Lamata run this train services safely every day?
I would say dedication and then expertise, and then the what they call thoughtfulness into the design and the structures in terms of operation as well. Because Lamata have done so well in the Blue Line operation that as we speak, it's zero accident. And it has carried more than 5 or 6 million passengers, and we are operating 94 trips now a day. So there are a lot of things that's gone into that, expertise, trainings, and we're hoping to not feedback, improvement. And Lamata has gone by in terms of recruiting people that has expertise on that area to assist them, what they call capacity building, capacity knowledge transfer and all that. So it's those are the things we look at, and it's up to Lamata to strive on that angle. Yeah.
Now let's go to the training center. What does this mean? Why did you now think of a training center from Lamata?
Good question. And as I said earlier on, there's a skill gap in the rail expertise in Nigeria, as we all know. So we've looked at that, and part of what we said is like, let's emulate what is done internationally. Presently, most of the people that operate the trains are, initially they are not Nigerians, but now everything has been transferred to Nigeria. 95% of them are Nigerians now. On that blue line, I can say categorically 5% of people that operate the blue line are Nigerians. So we've now learned from that and lesson. We've went to Metro Istanbul, got travel out of Nigeria for training and all that. So we now say, okay, there's a template being copied from the international world, which are the two wheels. Most international organizations that operate railway have the training institute affiliated to a university or accredited by a professional body. So let's look at that and emulate that in Nigeria. So then we look at who is our partner that we understand, then we now narrow it down to the Chinese railway, because they are the one, they build the railway, their infrastructure, the rolling stock itself, the operating, and we know China's is very good, they have a good record on railway as well. So then we narrow it down to them. So we have a meeting, look at the proposal and all that. That's why we now said, okay, let's build a training school in Nigeria, so that the skill gap, we can then catch them young. Pardon me to say that, that's allowed to be said. In terms of all the graduates that we are going to pick, people that you're going to be trained there 3 years, certified. So then you can then go to employment on the railway.
What exactly are they going to train them on? What are the courses you have on ground?
Oh, well, professional certification on railway in terms of customer service, railway maintenance, PIA, which is the track, signaling system, Motorola in terms of the motor of the train, the rolling stock maintenance as well. So then even the planning, the schedule of the train as well is a thing that you need to study and be certified on. So there are a lot of courses that area of discipline. I studied as a survey and engineering, then went to operations, went to engineering. So the railway is big, and you know that Lagos is growing. So it's growing, and the railway network is growing as well. So we need to now start planning so that we try to cover the skill gap. That's what we're planning. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, so we know that, of course, the rail system is to move a large number of people, but beyond moving people from point A to B, are there social or economic impacts of the rail service, especially on a state like Lagos?
Good question. Social impact and economic impact, yes. We can see now for the past record, I don't have it off head, Mr. Jelabi might have that. It's like, I don't see whether there's no week we don't have student excursion on the train.
Okay.
Yes, I don't see, and the minimum we see that maybe 30, 40 students coming. You can even have 4 schools on the train doing excursion on the train. It's a thing to go. So it has benefited Lagos State. People know now, the awareness is there. There's social impact. On the Sunday time where we operate the skeleton due to maintenance, you see people coming on excursion with their families and all that. So, and the social impact is it has created jobs, people can plan their journey, and the economic benefit as well is there. It reduces the impact on the wear and tear on the road and then increase job employment.
Okay, let's talk about the remaining lines. People from Lekki, people in Ibeju, people in Agege here, Ikeja. We're looking forward to also enjoying the railway. So, what's next?
Well, we have what they call STMP, which is the Strategic Transport Master Plan for Lamata. We call it the Bible. So in there, which is being reviewed as we speak, presently we have 6 rail network, but we are reviewing to add additional 5. And in terms of implementation and people around Lekki, Agege as well, the next phase is the Green Line, which goes from the Marina, that is Marina, go across the Lagoon Civic Center, Ozubamba, the way all the way to Ajah to Lekki Free Trade Zone. So it's about 17 stations. So that's the next phase. We already commenced. The federal government is back in Lagos State to implement that as well. So after that, we have the Purple Line, which is coming from Mowe, Redeem Camp, crisscross all the way to Agege and goes all the way to Lasso. So the rail is not easy. It's not cheap, but we are working. We are working there, and we have to give credit to the state government for backing us to do that, and the federal government as well. So the next phase is the green, the red. No, the green, the purple, the yellow, and the orange. The orange is from Mowe and the other. And another thing we need to talk about is the TOD, because part of the benefit of that is we look at, okay, as rail is not cheap, how do we now maximize the return for investment?
Okay. So
we look at what they call TOD, which is transit-oriented development. It's something we copy from Western world. It's been practiced efficiently under the Japan metro system. And then, so TOD means along the corridor, you look at what can you do. You get set some certain meters away from the rail station and then develop it. And then you partner whether the local government, private investor to come and rail, maybe real estate, more. It's things that we generate, and then it's like you are reviving the whole area.
Okay.
So basically, you're doing that. We have more people coming in. We have investors there, and then you regenerate the whole area. So another thing we are looking at is TOD for the states as well.
Right. So I know that Lamata also has international partners. You also have people whom you share experiences from, and they also come to Lagos to also learn. And so if you look at where we are now, and critics, there will always be critics anyway. Critics will say, oh, there's a slow pace of development when it comes to rail system. You've also alluded to the fact that funding is a big issue, mapping is a big issue, looking at how, of course, all of these things will be surmounted. You've also mentioned the colors. You've mentioned the purple line, the yellow line, the green line. What is the significance of colors when it comes to the railway system? Adebimpe asked earlier the difference between the red line and the blue line.
Yeah.
You did say that, well, maybe not really, but here you've mentioned about 4 other colors. So, so when we talk about colors, do they signpost anything, or is it just to give it aesthetics?
Correct.
Or to just, give, the coaches some kind of beauty as they come?
Okay, thank you. What we've done so far is not about specific to certain infrastructure in terms of color coded. We just look at, okay, it's done Western world, and we look at part of Lagos State colors. It's like, okay, we have orange, yellow, and all that. So that's why we just, it's an aesthetics. Let me just use that word. Yes, it's not specific about linked to any infrastructure or equipment. So it's just aesthetics, yes.
Okay, someone just sent me a question and said, look, yeah, it's, okay, she's congratulating Lamata first, but, you know, how much can you make this intermodal system, you know, work?
You know, when you just say the question, I said perfect. What another thing that Lamata is big on is intermodal interchanges, yes, because we've looked at, we don't want to breed just construction to nowhere. So, and the slogans or the mandate now is to connect most of our transport mode. So Lamata is big on that. What we're doing now, we will have a template, or not a template, a pilot one that is under construction now. That is the Marina interchange and my 2 interchanges. Both interchanges have the 3 mode or even 4 modes. Yeah, we have the water, rail, bus, and no motorized connected together. Okay. So you know that construction in Marina now is about 60% into construction. We hope to have that completed this year or first quarter 2027. So it's the same thing in my 2 as well. And if you look at the red line, at least 7 or 8 of our stations are connected to our bus system for our bus terminals. So to make it easy for connectivity and intermobility as well. So we have connection with Agege, with our bus terminal and the Federal. We have Iju connected to our bus stations. We have Agbado connected. We have Ikeja connected to the bus terminal. So what we're now planning going forward, most of our mode system will connect to each other. And if you look at the rail map as well, the Lagos Urban Rail Mass Transit Network, they are connect each other. Because the next thing we are doing now is we are connecting the red and the blue together. So we're going to have a rail system.
With just the Cowry card?
No, that is, the card works on all modes. All regulated mode.
Okay, even with the green, orange.
Everything, that's what it's going to use. One single Cowry card works on all mode, whether it's bus, rail, and ferry. Okay. So, but in terms of connectivity of modes of transportation, we want to connect the red and the blue, so we have a rail system. So, the red goes from Agbado to Oto, that means Oyingbo. So, we are now having to connect about 2.1 kilometer from Oyingbo to Marina. So, you can move from Marina, you can come from Agbado all the way to Marina.
What?
So, that's the plan now. So, that is in place. The contract is awarded. We are trying to implement it pretty soon.
Okay.
Lagos is, many have termed Lagos as a city that never sleeps. So in looking at, and I know that Lagos also has, Lagos plans ahead. And there's always this development agenda where we always see the future and we begin to work towards getting into the future. So part of the new possibilities of the rail system, are we ever going to, is there a plan to maybe in years to come have 24-hour rail system where at every particular point in time, be it day, be it night, there will always be rail service from one point to the other?
Can I add something?
Can you add? Can
we have, at some point, are we ever going to have the underground system also?
I like that
dream. 24 hours
underground. Perhaps we're just we're toying with so many things.
Actually, there's nothing stopping us from doing that. But we need to start. It's like somewhere. You take a leg. If you start running, you fall. So let's get what we're doing now. Then I think that's the next phase. Because if you look at what I said, presently now, the blue line started around 9 in the morning. Initially, it goes to 7. Now it's 6 a.m. Okay. So we look at the dynamics and then we improving over time. So I can't rule that out. I think that might be in the possible future. But for now, let's get what we're doing right for now.
Okay, so far, as we begin to wrap up this conversation, every infrastructure project has its own obstacles. What has been the major challenge, for you personally during this whole period?
The experience so far is,
because you said you came in through the World Bank.
Yeah, just to look at is that it's like the first thing is to get the backing. Okay. Because you might have different plans, you might have everything. It's going to be, have your document done, the reports. If you don't have the backing, you gather dust. Right? And the major thing is the power. because all modern railways now is being electrified. And we look at Nigerians, we are still doing fine. So in terms of, so what we've done, so the challenge is how to get the Blue Line operate. And eventually we got it very well. We have an independent power plant that power the Blue Line dedicated for it. So that the challenge is how to get it done then. And eventually we got it done with a local engineers, a consulting firm that are very good at that. So the challenge there was the power and then funding as well. And the experience so far is that, okay, you know, as I said, rail per kilometer is not, it doesn't come cheap. Funding, power, and then the people themselves in terms of, you know, Lagos is built up and the challenge is how to get it done in terms of acquisition and properties and all. So by and large, it's very interesting and I'm very happy that
Lessons
we have
learned also.
Lesson learned, yes. And another thing we've done so far is letting lanes in construction of the Blue Line was transferred into the red line. And the red line is operation now is going to be transferred to the green line. So that's the way we've been doing our things, and everything's been documented. And we have a section, we'll look at it and then implement that in our wording and design the next phase. So those are what we've been doing so far.
Okay.
Right, maybe my final question though.
Okay.
As
yes, it's almost time.
As laudable as the project is, we're here and relishing about all the good things that you're speaking about. I know there's still a lot of people who are still very skeptical about going on either of the lines you've mentioned this morning. So what assurances are you giving to such people to at least give it a trial, and perhaps that will convince them to believe what you've said this morning? So in terms of safety, in terms of all the assurances really that you can give on both lines.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Part of what I think we do best is to safety of our customers, our passengers. In all of our rolling stock is that there are safety fixtures built into it. Number one, the train cannot go beyond the profile speed.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if it's profiled to go 40 or 60 miles an hour, if the driver drives to try to go beyond that, the automatic brake system comes on board. So that will put the train to an halt. The second thing we've done so far is that that's what they call dead man switching. The rolling stock is off. It comes off every 90 seconds. If the driver does not acknowledge it, it comes up and put the train to stop. Those are all the safety features we build in it. We have cameras on it. And in terms of what we've done so far is, as I said earlier on, we have Mufti, we have partners in Lagos State Neighborhood Watch. They have them in the station, and we have the Mufti on the train as well. And we have, on the Blue Line, just under 5 stations, we have more than 300 cameras. Oh. And Lamata has done so well in that we have what they call control center built in Lamata that have a real-time field into the stations. Anything happen on the station, we can see it from our own station, from our own headquarters. And each station have a dedicated office that have live field cameras that check what is going on. So then in terms of the track itself, we have a camera, we have what they call it NGLT, broken radio detector system. If you go to our track and try to cut it, it sends a signal to my phone or the operating system. So all safety features have been built into it in terms of manpower, in terms of technology, in terms of even the written documents in terms of what happened, in terms of if things got lost on the train, what do you do to it? If people is sick on the train, what do you do? So we have a robust system in terms of safety. I will encourage Lagosians to please come on the train and experience it.
A robust system in terms of safety.
Yes.
I hope you heard it all. Your safety is guaranteed.
Correct.
On the Blue Line, on the Red Line. So why don't you just drop your cars, and get on these trains? Thank you very much, Engineer Olasukomi Okusaga. He's a technical advisor, Public Transport Rail Lamata, that is Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority. And we've been talking about Lagos Rail expansion, new licenses, new possibilities. We'll be right back after this short break.